What's going on, everybody? Sean Daniel with Guitar Control here, and today we're going to learn about triplets. If this is something that has confused you, today is the day to no longer be confused by triplets, and we're specifically going to add them to our guitar strumming, okay? So, what is a triplet? Basically, if we think of just beats, and let's take a bar, right? So if a bar of music is 4 beats, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. We can start by subdividing those beats in half. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and if you were to be strumming like an A minor chord, all the downbeats would be 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Once we have that first subdivision, we'll go 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and usually the next most common subdivision would be to make those into quarter notes. 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a. Now those are all fine and good, but a lot of times when it comes to guitar strumming, you can get kind of trapped in either like the 1, 2, 3 and 4 and 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a kind of thing. So the perfect addition to complement your guitar strumming is going to be a triplet. And that's when we take a beat and we subdivide it into 3 evenly spaced beats. So what I mean by that, instead of going 1, 2, 3, 4, every one of those numbers is now going to be 3 triplets. So 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet, 4 triplet. Now, it seems kind of conceptually easy just breaking a beat into 3 equal beats, but when it comes to strumming a guitar, if you don't have the proper technique behind it, it can be really hard to incorporate because of the direction of your pick. We've talked about in previous videos as far as like downbeats and dynamic strumming, where maybe you on the 1 you hit a little bit harder, and on the AM beat you hit a little softer. Good strumming dynamics. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. But what we've done is we've kind of made a system where the downbeat is always going to be a downstroke, and in between is always going to be an upstroke, like down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. With a triplet, it's different because since you have an odd number of subdivided beats, it's going to take your strumming and almost kind of turn it on its side. So if we were to count triplet, triplet, 1 triplet, 2 triplet, you notice that the downbeat on the second beat is now an upstroke instead of a downstroke, okay? So this is something that I really want to talk about because once you get this down, your strumming is going to improve immensely and you're going to be really happy that you've conquered triplets. So, counting triplets is probably where you want to get started, and there's a couple different ways that people do it. Some people say triplet, like breaking it into a 3-syllable word. Triplet, 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 triplet. I think a really good way to do it is to first say the number that you're on, followed by triplet as a 2-syllable word. So, like if we're on the first beat, 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet, 4 triplet. I kind of prefer that, but sometimes going like triplet, 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 triplet is a really good way to do it too. So, whatever's easy for you, try them both out and see which one sticks a little bit better. But what we're going to do is we're going to count the beat first, and then the word triplet is 2 syllables, and try to make our way through this bar. So basically, I'm just going to stick on, we're going to get old Western and go E minor style for this. And we're going to do 4 bars of triplets. So if we do it super slow, it'll be 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet, 4 triplet. When you practice this, you want to use a metronome. We're just going to do it out loud so we can kind of jump around a little bit, but using a metronome is really important for stuff like this. Now, if you just do it where everything is a triplet, 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet, 4 triplet, 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet, 4 triplet. It almost sounds like it's in 3/4 timing. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, otherwise known as a waltz. But our goal here is to take triplets where we can insert them onto specific beats regardless of the time signature that the song is in. And the best way to do that is to start selectively taking beats and adding triplets to them. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a 4-beat bar, and then on maybe like the second beat we're going to add a triplet. So it's going to sound like this. First of all, without the triplet, it'll just be like 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2 triplet, 3, 4, 1, 2 triplet, 3, 4. So that was played without dynamics, and it might be a little tricky because you really have to sense the timing for each beat. 2 triplet. Okay, that's just a three beats into 1 beat spot of that bar. 1, 2 triplet, 3, 4. And you notice how it's easy to kind of go 1, 2, 3, 4, where everything's a downstroke. But once you incorporate that triplet, now the third beat is going to be an upstroke. 1, 2 triplet, 3, 4. 1, 2 triplet, 3, 4. So the direction is kind of important in how you do it. Now, adding dynamics can be another way to really solidify how you approach triplets by really hammering home the downbeat of all these. 1, 2 triplet, 3, 4. 1, 2 triplet, 3, 4. 1, 2 triplet. See when I'm getting that triplet? I'm really kind of palm muting this to kind of 2 triplet. I'm actually muting the entire triplet. Now, a good way to do this would be to do this on every bar. 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet, 4 triplet. That's a really good way to kind of just iron down the sound of a triplet dynamically. So what I'm doing is on the downbeat, I'm gonna sustain the chord, and then I'm gonna kind of choke it for the triplet part. So 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet, 4 triplet. You see that my hand is just kind of really steady, just going back and forth. So now the actual triplet nature of it is totally dependent on my left hand. 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet, 4 triplet, 1 triplet, 2 triplet. So eventually you can build up a lot of speed with triplets. It's almost just kind of like a back and forth alternating thing once you start to get the dynamics of it down. 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet, 4 triplet, 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet, 4 triplet. That's a good way to train your hand into doing it. Otherwise, because the harder one to do it is to do it where we have a lot of space and all of a sudden there's a triplet out of nowhere, like we did earlier with the 1, 2 triplet, 3, 4, 1, 2 triplet, 3, 4, 1, 2 triplet, 3, 4, 1, 2 triplet, 3 triplet, 4, 1, 2 triplet, 3 triplet, 4. So really just kind of being able to summon the power of the triplet on the beats of your choice is kind of a complicated thing if you don't have the proper thinking behind it, the sound of the triplets. That's why I think really getting those downbeats on the 1, 2, and 3, and 4 is a really important thing to do. Again, just mute the whole string set. 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet, 4 triplet. Okay, so eventually you'll start to develop like an ear for the sound of triplets. Now, this doesn't have to just be strumming too. You can do it with anything. You can hear the dynamic 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 of just a single string doing the same thing. So no matter what kind of genre you're trying to play or how you kind of choose, it could be electric guitar, acoustic guitar, whatever, the sound of triplets is a really important thing to do. Another thing, and we're just kind of going over like just a broad way of how you can start incorporating triplets, how you can start thinking about triplets. A good way to do it is just kind of taking a page from drummers and just using your hands, right? So if we just go back and forth with your hands, just like if you're going back and forth, down and up with strumming, you can get the same effect. 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 1 triplet, 2 triplet. And notice how I'm changing the accent when I change hands. So it's like left, right, left, right, left, right. 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet, 4 triplet, 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet, 4 triplet. So you can kind of go back and forth with that. You can do it on, some percussive players do that kind of the same way. It's really just a way to really just keep a beat going, and they add a lot of flavor to any strumming pattern, especially if you put it on the back end of a bar. So what we're going to do now is we're going to take maybe 2 chords. The first 2 bars are just going to be E. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4 to A minor. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4 triplet 1. Okay? Now, adding that fourth beat at the end, making it a triplet, kind of really propels it somewhere. 4 triplet, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 triplet, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 triplet, 1, 2. See how it kind of like adds a little bit into the next thing? It's not as boring as 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4 triplet, 1, 2, 3, 4 triplet, 1, 2, 3, 4 triplet. Now, if you can really get the timing of it down, it doesn't always have to switch directions. I think that's a good habit to get into as far as going up and down. You could easily go 1, 2, 3, 4 triplet, 1, 2, 3, 4 triplet, 1, and kind of have those two downstrokes next to each other. But the important thing is to get the timing of it down, and once you can hear it, it's going to be a lot easier to play it, and really just kind of like to put into any situation, right? You could start off with a triplet. 1 triplet, 2, 3, 4 triplet, 1 triplet, 2, 3, 4 triplet. So again, the sound of triplets is something that you really want to incorporate in your playing. If you have any questions, please let us know, and we'll get back to you as soon as we can. So if you've mastered the sound of triplets and you're ready to move on to something else, please feel free to click any of the surrounding videos, because we've always got a lot of great content from a lot of different teachers, and education is really the quickest path to becoming a guitar master. So please click around and let us know if you have any questions. Thanks a lot.